right, everyone, we're back. Performance Matters Podcast. I want to start off by saying this. There are two types of people in this world. There are subscribers, and then there's
Yeah.
non-subscribers, right? So if you want to be a part of the cool kid community, make sure you like, subscribe. Performance Matters Podcast is on all your favorite streaming platforms, whether it's Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or YouTube. And of course, our Instagram page. Give us a follow. Get the latest, greatest tips, clips, and everything else like that from the show. But yeah, we'll just kind of throw that out there. Before I introduce my next guest, which I'm really excited to have on, so I'm excited to talk to him. Just remember that this episode is brought to us by Iron Performance Center, premier training facility in the Niagara region. I'm getting my sponsors mixed up sometimes. It happens. But yeah, I'm very excited to welcome my next guest. I want to make sure I get the name right. It's Andre Salmons.
Oh, the whole gummy. Yeah.
Okay.
That's right. Yeah.
Okay, good. I got
Coach Dre in the streets.
Coach Dre?
Yeah.
All right, Pat. Okay, Coach Dre. All right. Well, welcome to the Performance Matters Podcast. Very excited to have you guys.
Thank you for having me
on, of course. And why don't you just tell some of our viewers that might be tuning in, like a little bit more about you. Who is Coach Dre?
Coach Dre. He is a very passionate coach that prioritizes skill development and confidence building in the Niagara region for basketball. I'm hugely passionate about basketball and just working on confidence. I'm also a support teacher as well during the day. So I work with students with IEPs in the classrooms. So I'm big on education. I'm also big on basketball. Just tying the two together, it's all about confidence and just understanding and identifying your potential you.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. So walk me through, how did Apex come to be? You know what I mean? Like, I know we kind of talked about it, a little bit. I want to make sure everyone kind of gets the inside scoop here. So what kind of triggered, like, hey, you know what? There's like a need for something more here in this area.
I always give him props, but I'll get to this special person named Gary Lynn. But I've always been a fan of the skill development. Even when I was younger, age 9, 10, I didn't need a trainer or a coach to train me. I was just looking at Kobe clips or Tracy McGrady clips or Vince Carter, my favorite player back in the day, and just watching what they were doing on the court, and then just being creative in my own mind and trying to figure out how I can get better by myself in the driveway with no problems from my mom, just me getting better. And so from that kind of spurred creativity and just an understanding of how I could get better and transfer those skills I was working on independently to the game, because I lacked so much confidence with speaking, with shooting, with calling for the ball, and I knew that couldn't be something that was going to stick with me.
Yeah.
I had to be intentional about changing these habits, and it all started with my prep off the court. So yes, ever since then, just creating drills for myself and my friends. So my friends would see me doing stuff in the driveway or at the gym, and then they would ask me, to join in.
Yeah.
So it turned in from me just training myself to now me training a bunch of my peers and my friends. But long story short, was living in London where I met Sahil and a few other grade 9 kids when I was in my early 20s. Faisal, Hassan, they'll be mad at me if I don't mention their names.
Of course.
Sahil,
You get a shout out. Yeah. Shout out to the crew,
man.
man.
See it, so I gotta make sure I put them on. So Faisal, Sahil, Hassan, Jassim, just training them in the gym, getting better with their strength development, but also just on-court stuff, just doing shooting drills.
Yeah.
So when I moved from London to Niagara, that's where I met Gary Lynn and Rafi and SK and Budgie. And so Gary was the first person that I was seeing independently at the YMCA, McBain Center, and they have to bring that back at some point.
It's been there for a while.
Yeah, a lot of memories.
I know. What a waste.
It's crazy.
What a waste of a building. Honestly, I was seeing some of the inside photos and I was like, damn, like,
it's just there.
And no one picks it up. Like, no one picked it up.
If I had the money, oh my God.
I'm curious, like, what would be the return on that? But again, I'm like, there's guys with deeper pockets than you and me. I'm sure they're like, I wonder if they're saying the same thing. Yeah, we should be like, we're going to do this. We're looking at that and like, hell, what the hell we get ourselves into? This is a lot of that's a lot of overhead.
It really is. A lot of kids started their passion at that McBain Center. So we'll talk for another day, but like, it's crazy. But like, I was training Gary, and Gary was the first person to tell me, hey, Dre, you should turn this into a public thing.
Yeah.
And actually give this to the community. But yeah, like he inspired it. And next thing you know, I thought bigger picture, maybe had a house league and a program for athletes with disability and all the things that I saw in my own communities. I wanted to bring that to Niagara. All the best features of Friday Night Hoops, training, girls training, house league, open runs, just everything.
Yeah.
All right. So
yeah, no, that's kind of a big part, right? It sounds like you're really ingrained in the community now. Like, you're trying to bring better basketball to Niagara. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I agree. I think we were talking about, a couple of weeks ago too. Like, I think there is a need, you know what I mean? For something that's a little more high end, I would say, in the terms of the basketball realm in this area. Because again, like, we're competing with bigger markets. We know
Yes.
Toronto.
Yep.
Toronto's huge, and the GTA, the Horseshoe, all before the bridge there is very big for basketball. I think there's a lot of talent in
Oh, yeah.
Niagara that can really compete.
It's
You know what I mean?
disrespectful at the point because everyone just glosses over us.
Yeah, I agree. Like, I think we're almost like left to the wayside.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think
Yeah.
we're like left to the wayside sometimes. Like, like, hey, the South can do some things, man. Like,
Yeah,
we got some
real hoopers
ballers down here. Okay, so you decided to just open, start your own thing, right? Niagara Apex, right? Walk me through. So, like, how'd you kind of kick that off essentially? So, like, hey, you said I'm going to go in. You know what I mean? I'm going to rent a court, I assume, and just walk me through that. How'd that kind of start growing?
It's crazy to look back at because so much has happened in such little time. But 2019, that's when I had the idea of starting this.
Yeah.
That also the year after was like not even the year after. Our first clinic was at St. Francis. We did grades 6 to 8 in high school, and at that time I was at the YMCA, so I knew a lot of kids there, like Freed and again the names I mentioned earlier. So I was just handing out like flyers and letting them know, hey, I'm doing a free clinic at St. Francis, just testing the waters.
Yeah.
They were telling their friends about it. Didn't charge them money, and to this day, it's not even about the money. It's just about them. But yeah, we did our first clinic then, and we got a really good, a feedback on it.
Yeah, good crew.
Yeah, and that was February 2020. A month after, that's when COVID happens.
Boom.
So like we were planning to like really launch after that clinic and kind of spread out. But then, you had to pivot, and from there we did some online programs again for free. Just doing stuff, whatever we could do, we just did.
Yeah.
So I was doing a lot of virtual stuff.
Yeah.
We got the permission to do outside stuff in our bubbles. We did our bubble stuff.
Yeah.
But whatever we could do in that moment, we just took advantage of it.
Yeah.
And gave our 100% in it.
That was
and
a
then
crazy time.
2022 was when we got the go ahead to actually be public, and that's when we launched it. And that's when all our programs came out, and here we are, 2026, 4 years in publicly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a time, man.
Oh my God, those COVID times.
That was a time. That was like a blur.
Yeah.
I remember like we were doing the craziest shit. Like, and the funny thing is because we had the same rules. We had our other facility, and the rules made no sense to me. You know what I mean? Like, you start to wonder, like, common sense wise, you're like sitting there going, okay. Because I remember when the whole thing happened, I'm like, okay, March is when they kind of shut down everything.
Yeah.
So you're like, okay, well, how do we kind of get back to normal? And at the time, I was looking at other legislation, like other provinces, the states, trying to say, okay, maybe
the states didn't even, they were just
like I figure, I'll be proactive and see if I could find some things that other places are doing so we could open up. So I remember looking at plans and schematics for what the states were doing. So I was like emailing our MPs, Ministry of Health. I was sending letters, like physical letters. I'm like, hey, this is me trying to be proactive. And of course, the government, they didn't pay any attention. Didn't listen, they tried to hop in a call just to kind of keep your peace. Oh yeah, I was like, shut up.
Yeah.
Anyway, so then they came out with their second set of rules.
Yeah.
And they're like, okay. And it was like, hey, you have to have X amount of people per square footage. Okay. You have to draw the line. I'm sitting here going, I'm like, well, there's this arbitrary chalk line that separates you from 6 feet. But I'm like, we're in a contained space, doors open, whatever. But you're like, does this really make sense? Does it really make sense?
You're seeing other regions just whatever.
And then I remember the color zones, red.
Yeah. Oh my days.
Remember that? All of a sudden we're red, but they're being practically red. No, we're really orange, but we're actually going to be red. And then also we're yellow, but red again. And you're like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
What are we doing? How is this making any sense? Like this arbitrary line, like that stops it. You know what I mean? Like that's you know what I mean? I was like, you start looking back and you're like, what the hell are we doing?
Yeah.
You have like an in-out lane. So if people walk on this side, I'm like, they're still passing.
Man, even I was doing I was support teaching virtually. Even that was a whole thing.
Yeah.
Support, like, it was just crazy to be in that time. It's just
it really was just a blur. I remember looking back, and sometimes we'll laugh. I'm like, what the hell were we doing? Who the hell thought this was going to work? Who thought this was that'll do it? That's the difference maker. And you're just like, this arbitrary chalk line on the ground. Go outside, come back inside. 6 people to whatever. Okay. And
it was mentally, emotionally frustrating, and I really learned a lot about myself and just pivoting and just, not knowing what tomorrow's going to bring, but just being okay with today and just mastering today and do what you can in that moment.
Yeah, you have to adapt.
Yeah.
You have to adapt.
That's a big word,
Because I saw a lot of local businesses were shutting down, like, for good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That was like the nail in their coffin. I was like, I
It was
remember
sad, yeah.
it was very sad. I remember I got guys in Calgary, like MMA gym in Burlington shut down for good. They've been around for a long time. They're phenomenal. It's like, holy smoke, like that was it. Like
Yeah.
they did everything that they were told to do. And then
Yeah.
that was like the nail in the coffin. Like
Yeah.
me following the rules was a nail in my
Yeah.
coffin. Like how do you
It doesn't, yeah, there's no rhyme or reason.
no, it was zero. And then you look back now, you're like, damn, like can you imagine if we, did all those things too? You're like,
A few
holy
of the
smokes.
athletes who I was coaching and training over that COVID time, like they stopped playing basketball together. Like some
Yeah.
real good talent, but because no space and at one
Yeah.
point you couldn't go outside and shoot, there's no
It was,
nothing.
and yet the Americans are competitors. Like,
Yeah.
you have kids trying to go to the next
Yeah.
level and their American counterparts who are domestic,
Yeah.
cheaper, 10
Yeah.
times the population, and they're doing full things. And you're just
Yeah.
like, what? This was really like a handcuffing moment to a lot
Yeah.
of kids. You're like,
For real.
you're talented, but just because of the times,
If you had your own gym or your own
yeah,
oh my gosh, that's like a
it was just a different circumstance. So now that we kind of fast forward to 2026, right? So talk about what's coming up for you in Apex basketball. Cause I want to kind of, I'll circle back in a sec, but I want to kind of figure out what's coming up in spring for you guys.
yeah. So again, I even can't keep count, but we're in our 4th year.
Yeah.
Or we're in our spring season now. So again, just relaunching our programs, our Apex Labs, skill developments from JK to grade 12, 12B. We have our Apex League. I don't call it a house league. That just sounds kind of
It sounds so frou-frou.
yeah.
It sounds a little
We
soft.
don't call it a house league. It's
Yeah,
an
yeah.
Apex League, competitive skill development league
Yeah.
plus small-sided games for kids for youth that are trying to get better. Like we throw a lot of things at them, a lot of concepts. We don't baby them. We push them to their potential. With the guidance and support, knowing that it's okay to make mistakes along the way. We have our Apex Liberty program, our program for females.
Hmm?
We have our We Hoop program run by our awesome coach Kendra and Coach Jarrell and Coach Brandon and Coach Lex and Coach Dre. That is for athletes with disability.
Yeah.
So whether it's cerebral palsy or autism or Down syndrome, like that's their program where it's all about physical literacy
Yeah.
and building confidence in their fine and gross motor skills. We have so many different things. We also have this one more I'm forgetting. Oh my days. Can't remember right now. But yeah, it's all on the website.
Yeah. That sounds like
We do a lot.
That's a lot to manage
Yeah.
too, right? Like how do you kind of manage your coaches and all that?
Oh, they're great. Like we hold each other accountable. Yeah, we just communicate. Communication is key.
Yeah.
Keeping the standard, just working to get better. And it's all about the kids and the athletes in our program. So as long as we keep them safe, that's the forefront, most important rule. Keep them safe emotionally and physically, but also they're there for a reason. And parents trust us that they will come back home as a better athlete overall. So as long as we just keep that the main thing, then we're okay.
Yeah, that's the North Star. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like, hey, do no harm and just we got to get better
Yeah,
today.
just get back home as a better person.
Yeah, get home better hooper today.
Yeah.
So then like walk through some of the stuff you guys are doing. Like, you run your labs, you said. So what does that kind of look like for an athlete? What's like step one? Let's say an athlete comes to you, says, Dre, I'm interested. Where do we start?
Yeah, just how devoted are they to getting better? How
Yeah.
committed are they to getting better? Are they okay with making mistakes along the way? Can we push them? Know what their goals and intentions are, knowing their why. Are they here to, make the school team or a travel team? Do they have aspirations outside of high school? Do they want to go pro? Like, okay, if you tell me your why, then I can meet you where you are and then start making, outlines as far as how you can be successful.
Yeah.
So we have a guideline called Kobe. So just K, knowing your why. O, objectives, making goals. B, just being intentional about how we're going to get all that stuff done. And then E, just execute daily, even on the days where like you just don't feel like being there and you don't feel like showing up. Can you give your 100% of your 10%, whatever you have?
Yeah, that's a great acronym.
Yeah, I love Kobe growing up.
That was like a good for you.
Thank you.
That was you kind of really plugged that in there. I like that.
Yeah,
Kobe, okay.
Yeah.
So no, that's actually pretty original. I'm gonna think of some other ones now. I gotta think of something creative. But you mentioned like when they come in, you're kind of figuring out what their why is and their weak spots, I guess. So how do you kind of figure that out, and how do you kind of enforce that? Let's say, you said being there even when you don't want to be there, that kind of thing. There's gonna be those days. There's a lot of that happens to all of us. You know what I mean? Like, show up and do what you got to do some days.
Yeah.
So how do you kind of like, I guess twofold, like what are you looking for to help them develop for their why? And then how do you kind of hold them accountable to the thing they strive to do?
Well, just one, being transparent, even with my story, with confidence and the lack thereof. But also just meeting them where they are. With our labs, we have different breakout groups. So we have different coaches for different skill groups and different, wise in a sense. So we might have a coach that's there just for like our new friends that
Yeah.
are new to the sport, where like they're trying to learn the basics of the fundamentals.
Yeah.
So you might group those kids with that coach where it's all about meeting them where they are and just helping them with maybe the fundamentals, with form shooting and confidence with ball handling and
Mhm.
making those mistakes. But again, it all starts with being comfortable with making mistakes because that's where a lot of kids lose that confidence because they
Yeah.
don't want to make mistakes. They're very fearful of using their left hand or shooting the ball because they might miss. So it's understanding like that that's okay. It's in fact we encourage making mistakes and failing forward. And then like I won't take credit for this, but SK taught me this part, like, the stacking L's. If you stack two L's, it makes a W. But like it's okay to make mistakes. Those losses aren't losses, they're just lessons. And at
Yeah.
the end, keep on stacking those lessons,
Mhm.
and they will create that 1% better.
Yeah, no, I like that way of looking at it, falling forward.
Yeah.
That's a good way of looking. I find that too a lot. I don't know if it's like maybe a generational thing or maybe it's a lot of social media. It's hard to say, but I find a lot of kids I think are almost like afraid to fail
Yeah.
because my thought maybe it could be a couple of reasons, but I think a big part of it is like it's publicized.
And that's the thing. Yeah.
It's
An
very
embarrassment part, right?
it's very publicized. You know what I mean? Like there's always Instagram stories.
Yeah.
There's social media stuff
Yeah.
where they're seeing people they aspire to be
Yeah.
or doing what they aspire to do and try to keep things in context like hey that post or that story or
Yeah.
that video you saw that reel whatever is just a moment in time it's just a
Yeah.
snippet in time you don't understand the 99% context
Yeah.
behind it or what led to that
Yeah.
moment because no one's posting their failures or
And that's the thing.
you know what I mean
Right.
so I think it's very I think it's they hesitate a lot you know
Hmm.
what I mean do you find that too sometimes like
Yeah, even in life in general, like if like, I try to limit my social media, just scrolling and doom scrolling. I
yeah
might see something and I'm like, oh, I don't have that. Or in the
yeah
moment, I'm comparing myself to
yeah
that.
envious
Yeah,
yeah I
oh,
get a
they're
little
getting
envious
married, good for them. But okay, why am I? When's my moment? So like, it's all about like comparisons, the thief of joy. Like you can't be in that mindset of comparing yourself all the time. Oh, they can do that. Why can't I do that? No, it's okay. That's their journey. Be on your journey and be
yeah
okay with your journey, kind of
damn
thing.
no, I like that
Yeah.
I think more kids got to hear that. You know what I mean? Hear that. I think it matters too who they're hearing it from.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think it matters who they're hearing it from because I'm sure their parents say the same thing and
Mhm.
maybe coaches. I'm trying to always figure out a way to like, how does that message, how do we resonate with them and have them understand that message? Like, listen, there's a lot of work to do, right? It doesn't matter how good you are. Like, you just kind of, split those hairs as we go. There's always work to do. You have to show up and do it, but regardless of how you feel,
Yeah.
and I think that's a big thing we found too is the best athletes and best teams that we've experienced they can perform regardless of how they're feeling. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like whatever, your girlfriend or boyfriend could break up with you, your dog could die, you know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like got a bad mark at a test, the
Yeah.
whistle's still blowing at 6 o'clock
Yeah.
on Saturday.
Yeah.
Are you able to compartmentalize, those things
Yeah.
to achieve the outcome that you need to do essentially, right? Like
Yeah.
I find that's always the biggest hurdle for a lot of people to kind of wrap their head around. But it's also one of the biggest indicators of success is the fact that they
Mhm.
can perform regardless of how they're feeling, knowing that it doesn't matter these things in this moment. I have to win this moment.
Yeah.
What's going to impact winning in this moment?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
As a coach for me, I try to play as much basketball as possible too. Because the things I'm saying, I want to make sure I'm able to do those things too. I can't just be preaching and preaching and preaching without actually showing that I can do it myself and also showing it to my athletes too.
Yeah.
So like anything I throw at the kids, I have to be able to do it myself. Even with the mindset, like I play all the time, and I'm big on being a goldfish and moving on quickly and next play possession. But I definitely have empathy for athletes that like, oh, I missed a shot, and they kind of get stuck.
Yeah.
If I can, like, I have those moments too. I miss shots all the time.
Yeah.
I might make a turnover. I might be frustrated at a teammate, but like, I try to give them tips that helps me also being in that moment before the day prior.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you forget that you've also been those moments too, and you want to like almost condemn, like, why can you do that? Like, no, like you have to also have that experience and then articulate how you got over that too
Yeah.
clearly to that athlete.
Yeah. I find that as well.
And
Like
just share.
be in the trenches essentially,
Yeah.
right? You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
kind of, lead from the front.
Mm-hmm.
I think that helps twofold. They can see that, hey, not just me, but coaches actively getting in there and
Yeah.
trying to improve. And,
Yeah.
whether if he's having a great day, he's capitalizing, he's having a tougher day, he's doing it.
Yeah.
And then second thing to that too, I would say is you could better relate
Yeah.
to your athletes as well.
That's a
Like
big part.
yeah, I know I can have a better idea of
Yeah.
empathy, what you're feeling,
Yeah.
how this might come. Like, hey, if you're having a hard day and you're doing these things, I've been there. I could probably relate a little bit more. maybe I can better, cater my message,
Yeah.
in some regard to maybe help it come through.
That goes a long way, just building rapport. Like I pride myself, whether it's in the classroom or on the court, just to build that rapport. Like all my athletes, I have like nicknames for them.
Yeah.
And that goes a long way too. Like,
It's
this
huge.
coach actually cares about
Yeah.
me
He
in
knows
that
my name.
sense. Yeah. So when
Yeah.
I'm giving them a tip, I can say like, for example, Alistair, hi Alistair, Alistando or Captain J or Armandio,
Yeah.
Arman. Like I
Something
can get
unique.
something, right? So that way that delivery comes from a place of love.
Of course.
And it's not just,
Yeah.
coach is on me now.
Coach, I don't know my damn name. Coach called me Bill today. I'm Bill who? We have interns and we have those same conversations because a lot of young, I'll say young. Let's say new. I don't want to say I'm young because I'm not old, but I'll say newer coaches. We have interns that they're very theoretical. They learn all the things in school.
Yeah.
And they'll come to us. We're doing stuff in the fall, for example, and they'll be like, "Oh, this person's MRSI is this, or jump height this, weights this, da, da, da." We're just like, "What's their name?" You're like, I don't want to hear nothing until you learn that kid's name. What school do they go to?
Yeah.
What's their parents' name?
Yeah.
Their brother, they have siblings. They just learn more about your athlete because at the end of the day,
they have to like it.
They don't care how much you know until they know how much you care.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like it has to be this two-way street.
Yeah.
I think I think athletes respond to truth.
Yeah.
I don't think they don't have to like it, but they can respect that, hey, coach is being upfront. You know what I mean? He's being honest and he cares. He's investing time and energy into me. He's giving me the feedback that he feels or she feels is necessary for this moment to meet me in this moment. So I think having that rapport is fundamental in terms of I would argue before a lot of skills you can develop. It's like, hey, I got to just know you.
Yeah.
Like, what are you about?
And then you feel that requires change, or you have to build that rapport with that athlete or client.
Of course. So how do you kind of like go about communicating this to parents now? Because obviously, parents are a fundamental role in athletic development, especially the younger ages.
Yeah, especially right now in this.
That's right. Yo, trust.
Oh my dude, yeah.
So how do you kind of like cater the message to parents? Like when a parent comes in and is like talking for their athlete or is trying to get the best for their athlete, like how do you kind of navigate parents?
That's a tricky one.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm still figuring that part out. I don't have a clear-cut answer, but the biggest part is being transparent in how I'm feeling. But also giving power to the athlete to advocate for themselves. I'm big on advocacy. So kind of restoring that power balance from the parent talking, communicating to the athlete. Like, you tell me your why. You tell me what's going on. And sometimes athletes are kind of burnt out too. Like, all the games they're playing and, everywhere you go, even I'm skills training everywhere you go. They're not just playing basketball free of adult supervision.
Yeah.
And I think hopefully we're going to get back to a place where they can just hoop without anyone watching and the cameras and whatnot. But yeah, just big on athletes talking for themselves and speaking up for themselves. And just advocate for themselves.
I got you. Okay. So what do you see? Do you like, again, you're right. We do see a lot of, especially basketball players, like they finish the season and they go into combines or they go into camps like right away, pretty much. Like it's very like all year. It's condensed. They're always hooping. Do you feel that it's helpful for them, or do you feel like maybe that's possibly like a hindrance almost? Like it's almost like, we're trying to take 2 steps forward, but we're also taking 3 steps back, like in terms of recovery or in terms of performance. Like, what do you see from your end?
With all the games they're playing?
Yeah, all the games, all the camps. Like, summer's coming up, so a lot of like high school seasons and club seasons are starting to wrap up a little bit. But then they're going into something new, right? Like almost like next season starts now type thing in terms of like they're going to camps and more court time and everything else like that.
I think balance is key in anything you do. I understand that that's the society we're living in right now, and everything is microwave and you want it now.
Very instant.
Yeah. So I think there should be a balance in having the freedom to actually just go out there and I encourage some athletes, like, why are you even doing AAU? Why are you doing travel? You're in grade 5, you're in grade 6. Just enjoy basketball. Like, even myself, I'd never push myself. Like, you don't even need me to get better. You just need determination and the space to get better.
Yeah.
So just having that freedom to just be you and just enjoy basketball and fall in love with it, because all the games and all the coaching and all the critiques and all the instant feedback and all the parents, yelling and giving you feedback, the car ride homes that are awkward.
Yeah, that's a big one.
You're gonna fall out of love with that very quickly. And by the time you're in grade 9, grade 10, and then you have some drama with the coach, and the coach is always wrong apparently. Like, and the kids also listen to the parents at home, the dinner table talks.
Yeah, it's huge.
Right. I worked with so many athletes now where like after high school, they just stop. or even
Yeah.
before high school, they stop. They're burnt
Sad.
out.
Yeah, that's sad.
And it's very upsetting to kind of see that. So hopefully we get to a place where they're just able to balance. I think balance is key with that.
Yeah, it is. I think it's more like framing like what does that balance look like? Because it is going to be very individualized. You know what I mean? I think some athletes or people in general that are always like go go go. Like if you're going hard 6 days a week, like balance might be like, hey, yeah, I think people think this balance is like 50-50, you know, the fact that
Yeah.
work-life balance stuff, like, oh, work-life balance, 50% work, 50%, ease. But like for reality, most people could be like, if you enjoy what you're doing, it
Yeah.
might be like, hey, I love working 12 hours, but 14 is too much. That your
Yeah.
work-life balance, but hey,
Yeah.
12 hours is like your happy place.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But people are like, oh, it's too much. It's like, well, no, it's relative to them. Like if
Yeah.
they're productive and fulfilled at 12
Yeah.
hours in this example, then that might be enough. I think for kids, it's understanding, you're going to learn that as you go, obviously, but they're kind of in a handcuffed position because they are kind of, hindered by the schedule
Yeah.
of school. Like they have no control over their school schedule.
Mm-hmm.
Their parents are typically their rides and
Yeah.
availability. So really there's not like a lot of freedom for them to kind of figure that out. It's kind of just like I'm being put here. I'm being told I have to go here, 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 here
Yeah.
at these times. And they range from morning and night and everything else. So it's almost like between school and trying to just do your homework
Yeah.
at a certain time of day and then, go to practice.
Yeah.
I've seen some crazy practice, like hockey's big on that too. Like they
Yeah.
practice at 9 o'clock at night. I'm like,
Yeah.
hey, by the time you get home, it's almost midnight.
Been in school and work.
Yeah. And then you got to do homework and wake up
Yeah.
at 6 or 7 for the next day for school. You're like,
It's a grind.
it is a grind. You know what I mean? I argue that university or college is a little bit easier by regards because you can kind of pick your, you kind of pick your time slots a little bit. Practice are kind of consistent. You kind of have a little more flexibility there. But as a high school athlete or someone in high school, like you're kind of, there's some rigid barriers in there. You know what I'm saying? So
my thing is you're like understanding your why. Like, why are they doing all these games? Even at grade 3, grade 4, like I think the age for travel and the AAU should be even like maybe grade 7, grade 8.
okay, yeah.
But then also like, do the parents want it for the kids or do the kids want it? And then why do the kids, if the kids do want it, why do they want it? Is it for the skill development? Is it because their friends are joining? Is it they want to get better? Are they getting better in these places? Or is it a money grab? And I think it all comes down to like, is it a money grab for the organizations that are pushing these programs out and trying to get these parent players to come?
I get what you're saying. So what do you think, in your opinion, from your experience, has been the biggest objection or biggest hurdle for that?
Just for kids in the gym all the time?
Yeah. What do you think?
Money.
Money.
A lot of it is just, back when I was younger and, in high school, there's a few prep programs in Canada, and those are the prestigious like prep programs. And if you're Canadian, you have to go to the States for a prep.
Yeah.
But now everywhere you turn, you'll see a prep. Like if I want to start a prep tomorrow, I can start a prep tomorrow. But I would never do that because my intention isn't with that. And I don't think at this stage where I'm at, I could help them get to where they want to go if a prep is to get them to the next level.
Got it.
Right? There are other preps that are great at doing that. I might recommend them to those prep programs that have the history of it. But it all comes down to money. Like, why are these adults in it? And if they're in it for the money, then that's the wrong reasons. But if they're in it to actually get these athletes better and exposure and get into this level, then that's a different story.
Yeah, I think it's helping to understand the investment. It's like, hey, if this is something serious, like if you think that developing your son or daughter is fundamental for you and crucial to them, is like this is the investment it's going to take to get there. I think too is understanding for parents especially and athletes. We've had this conversation with other coaches, other practitioners, talking about the underbelly, the dark underbelly of sport. It's like at a certain point, typically like 15, 16, like you're going to have to start specializing.
Yeah.
You're going to have to start understanding the conversations. Like if you're good, there's going to be conversations with adults.
Yeah.
You're going to have to make some decisions for your career in terms of where you play basketball, options for financial aid, all these things, and the expectations that come with that.
Yeah.
I think that is almost not talked about enough.
You know and the thing is, those talks, it's all happening at grade 5.
Yeah.
Those like, all the specialized training, all the grade 5s and 6s that want it now.
That's what's crazy to me is that you'll have, we've turned parents and athletes away because they're trying to start like, I need specialized XYZ training.
Yeah.
They're 8, they're 9. And I'm like, we got to really just manage expectations here.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, furthermore, to get a post-secondary scholarship is like 1%. And then to go pro from there is like another 1% of the 1%. So I think it's like, hey, like 2 things. 1, let them play, let them learn to be unstructured. And, by being unstructured, they'll learn a lot of things from being unstructured. And then 2, it's going to be their ability to mature at a certain rate, because at a certain age, their emotional maturity will start to develop. They can take feedback and then apply feedback. But at too young, it's almost like give them feedback and it gets like butterflies, and they're they're
Yeah,
chasing the next
on to the
thing,
next thing, yeah.
which is normal. They're being a kid,
Yeah.
like they have a youth brain, like that's how it's supposed to be,
Yeah.
right? Until again, people mature at different ages, but I found typically around 11 or 12 is a better age, because then they can actually take feedback and apply it in a structured way
Yeah.
with some purpose,
Yeah.
and the intention that okay, now they're able to apply that cue or that feedback. They will now be able to elicit a better response.
Mm-hmm.
Versus if you give them a cue and they're kind of like butterflies, distracted, everything else like that. It's like, well, just let them play. Like, let them go play with the friends, play outside, go hoop outside, run, tumble, crawl, learn all these different skills on their own. And then, as time goes on, they'll start to realize, oh, I actually enjoy doing this. I want to keep doing this. I want to get better at doing this. How do I get better at doing this? Those are great questions. Now we can start exploring, and you've piqued their curiosity.
Yeah.
Right. Intrinsically versus having some external thing like push them there, like, oh, school,
Mm-hmm.
or mom and dad said this, I have to go do this. Like, it's crazy how, some parents are so hyper focused. I get it. It's all well intentioned.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah, I hope.
Yeah. So it's all comparison too. You kind of touched on it earlier. It's all the comparison. This
right.
Oh, we gotta look
right.
how he's developing.
Yeah. It's like, well, I want to do what so-and-so is doing.
Yeah.
It's like, well, we don't know the whole story about so-and-so. You know what I mean? Like, well, where are you at?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I remember we had a kid, really good kid. I think he was 11 or 12 at the time. I think he's obviously in high school now, but the mom was very adamant about him. Like, oh, he's traveling to Buffalo. He hit a big growth spurt really early. He was like 10 or 11. He was like 6'2".
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Big kid,
Yeah.
but the softest spoken kid. Like, he loved drama. He loved art.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, very lanky little, younger kid.
Yeah.
Like, just looked like he outgrew his peers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He almost felt like he's like a teddy bear. Like, felt like almost like he's trying to like fit himself into his age, but like he's outgrew it. But the mom was like, okay, we're going basketball. His coach says you got to do this, specialized skill training, all this stuff. And you're like, okay, well, we'll meet him. We'll talk with him. We started doing some things with him, but it's almost like he was just going through the motions. Cause I felt like he was just being pulled in all these directions.
Yeah. You had no control. Playing Fortnite or something.
Yeah. He had no control over what he was supposed to. Like, well, I'm tall. I guess I got to go do this thing. But really, he loved to do art. He loved to go drama class. He loved to learn and act. All those things. I don't even know if he liked basketball.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're just like, what are we doing?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, what you need specialized, skill development every week in Buffalo. You're traveling to Buffalo and then Burlington.
So his why was his mom was telling him to go.
Yeah. And the mom was always honest. Like, oh, he's got to do this. The coach has got to get faster here, faster. I'm like, for fuck's sake.
He's going to burn it. Yeah.
He's 10.
Yeah.
He's fucking 10. Like, this guy just started.
10?
He just started using a pen in class.
Yeah.
He just started using a pen, for Christ's sake, in class. The hell are we doing?
For real.
You know what I mean? I felt bad for this kid. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know where he ended up. I hope drama class.
So then how do you handle that?
I really, so when parents come to me and they start like kind of being overburdened, if we meet with the parent and the kid and they're in the room, I'll always talk to the kid. I don't care how old they are. Like, because if nothing else, I'll learn two things. Either A, they want this because they're communicating, or B, if they don't, I could make a better recommendation. But you know what? Like, maybe this is just not a good fit. Yeah. Maybe come back in a couple of years, whatever, or figure out if this is something you want to do.
Yeah.
But, I think, like I said before, I'm just being honest, transparent. Like, look, like, I want this to be your son or daughter's journey. Yeah. Right. If they're truly passionate about, like, in my mind, at least for what we do in the weight room, it's like they have to be really good lifters and really proficient and just become in love with training. Yeah. Which I get it. It's not your sport. This can transfer to the sport in some regard, but really, like I said, weeks ago, we're trying to just build more physically capable athletes to transfer. So it's like nothing we're doing in here is actually going to transfer. I want to clear that up right now. Nothing we do in here is going to transfer to the court, the rink, the field, nothing. It's the capacity to transfer to the field. Like, you're having more, have a bigger horsepower engine. Yeah. But you got to go to sport to teach how to drive. You know what I mean? You get a Ferrari engine and it can't drive your car. Yeah. I can't help you. So, trying to make that very clear to the parents. And when they start becoming a little bit overbearing, it's like, this is not a good fit. Yeah. It's never a place of animosity or malice. It's just like, listen, like, I want to make sure that you're getting the most investment for your money. Right. Yeah. But I also have to understand that this is for your son, for your daughter. They have to kind of take the steering wheel here. I'm just the guy in the passenger seat with the Google Maps telling you where to go. Yeah. They got the steering wheel. They got the gas pedal. I can't do that for them. So it's like, you have to understand that they're the one leading this endeavor here. Yeah. I don't want to make sure that they're getting the most out of it. And some parents respect that and they get it, and some just kind of get upset. And I'm like, I get it. They're probably going to go find someone that will tell them what they want to hear, which that's an industry problem.
Yeah.
And, me and my staff have bashed our heads about this, about messaging and marketing, but it's like, we're never going to go against our core values there. You know what I mean? Like, I do believe we do what we do because people are so much more capable of what they have of themselves. Like, I think everyone needs a coach. I will stand by and die on that sword. Michael Jordan, best basketball player, he had a coach. Tiger Woods had a coach, right? They all have coaches. You know what I mean? Because that's another layer and lens that are being looked through of like, they might see something you don't see and they can give you the feedback. Because every athlete, good or bad, I believe wants to be coached. You know what I mean? In some regard. And like I said, the best athletes are very specific with the feedback they need. An example, like a lot of our college kids and university kids are coming home and, they're trying to break the roster, or they're trying to, like one girl was amazing. She got rookie of the year, like for the entire school. She's a phenomenal player. But there's some frustration with some feedback because they want something tangible to go back and work on. And if a coach is like, you're doing great, just keep doing what you're doing, they're like, well, what rabbit am I chasing? I don't want to be chasing 5 different rabbits and catch none. They want something a little more tangible. Hey, like, yes, you're doing all these things well, but you know what? Here's the one thing that if you did this, keep doing what you're doing, but do this thing, work on this. This will raise the tide for all ships. So they want that feedback, right? And no different whether you're a novice in here or an experience. It's like, hey, there's always something that we can kind of find that'd be like, you know what, this might be the rabbit we worth chasing, and see where that takes us. That's a little more tangible, a little more quantifiable, and a little more specific. Right. So instead of we paint with broad strokes, and we just kind of narrow down the funnel. But I think getting that feedback's important. I think it's having that eye and having that conversation is important. But circling back to the kids and the parents and everything else like that, like we will be very particular, you know what I mean? Because again, I don't feel good taking money for and not getting a result. It's like, no, like we're here for a reason. And I do have, I get pissed off when people will tell them what they want to hear. And again, open to interpretation, opinion, the context dependent, obviously. But if I'm saying, hey, look, your son or daughter, 8 or 9 or 10, they're loving what they're doing. They're just not quite there yet. Maybe come back, let them keep doing what they're doing, have fun, play, enjoy. And then they'll go to someone else because they want to hear what they want to hear. Oh yeah, no, we'll get them on speed this. We got to do speed
Talking
this
their
thing.
language.
Speed the language. Like, like eating it up. And I'm just like,
people want to hear what they want to hear.
They want to hear what they want to hear. It's definitely a little frustrating at times, but
and who misses out? The kids now are the victim in all this.
I think we're seeing that kind of come to fruition now. You're looking at guys and girls like, man, like you're dropping out of sports, or you're setting these benchmarks for yourself where you start to wonder, like, where'd they come from? You know what I mean? Like, we'll see that too. Like, oh, I should be jumping this high or should be running this fast. I'm like, well, based on what? Well, so-and-so has done that. I'm like, whoa. I'm like, well, that's okay. That's them. You're saying we got to hit these things. I get it. Maybe there's a college coach or university prospect saying, hey, this is our benchmarks coming. Well, I got to hit that. It's like, okay, well, like if you're trying to strive for a 10-foot approach or 10-foot run up jump and you're sitting at 9'7", 9'8", you're like, 4 inches? Like, 4 inches and what time point? You're like,
I don't know about that.
You're like, whoa, like, you can't just
slow down there,
dial the knob up. Okay, now we're going to jump for it. So you're like, who the hell is telling you?
They want it. They hear it and they see it.
Yeah, someone's going to
make their own conclusions sometimes.
You know what I mean? So, it's a whole thing with athletes and parents, because like I said, the biggest thing is going to be make sure that they want it. Make sure that it's, the parents can support that. And I think we've talked about this with other people too. It's like, I think the role for parents, in my opinion, is going to be support them, ask good questions, pique their curiosity, and get feedback that they start to figure out and ask questions of themselves and other coaches. Like, hey, like, how'd it go today? Like, what do you think you did well? What's something you think you want to work on this week of practice? Like, what do you think you as a team did well? How are you as a teammate? What do you think your team could work on?
With that too, I always do for our kids. There also has to be some follow-up questions, because kids will just be so quick to say, how was practice? It was good.
It was fun.
How was school? Good. Like, I don't accept just good as an answer. Like, I do some digging.
There's nothing, no substance.
Nothing. What I do with good?
Yeah.
What is that?
Nothing.
Everything's just good.
I always ask my kids, like, how's school? Like, good. I'll be like, what'd you learn today? Nothing. I'm like, well, that was 6 hours well spent. Like,
how was it good?
That was good. It was mostly review.
And you find out like X, Y, and Z happened. Oh, I saw LeBron James.
Oh,
what? And that was good.
Yeah, it was just a good day.
It was good.
Another day.
Nothing bad happened.
Yeah, no, it was just, hey, 6 feet over, better than 6 feet under. You're like, No, okay. It's like, shit, man. It's like, come on, kids, think something. You know what I mean? Say it with your chest, damn it.
Yeah.
Come on. It's all right. I'm asking, how are you?
Yeah, I care. How are you doing?
How are you? You know, give me a paragraph or some shit.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that.
I
But
remember being younger. My mom would ask me, how was your day at school today? Or my dad would ask me, how was your day at school? Good. I was not allowed to walk past them to say
yeah,
good. Or even worse, not ask them how their day went either.
yeah, base respect. How are
Yes.
you?
Yeah, I'm doing well. I'd had a whole follow-up answer as to why it was good.
Yeah.
And then I had to make sure I asked them, how was your day?
Yeah.
So we always had a conversation.
Yeah. Which is just good communication.
Yeah.
You know, it taught some good communication. I think kids struggle with that too sometimes.
Yeah.
Like they don't know how to communicate with an adult. You know, we have kids that are now having pro conversations like, hey, you're like 17, 18, whatever like that. I'm like, you really got to learn how to communicate professionally to your coaches now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if you would say, oh, I want more playing time, like, well, how would you ask a coach for feedback on that? My response would be like, hey, coach, I'm trying to be the best contributor to my team. Like, what do you need to see from me to earn my ice time, my court time, my field time, wherever that is? Like, what do you need to see from me?
Yeah.
Right. And try to get some quantifiable, tangible things you can go and work on in practice. Or
The funny thing I had, it's so funny. Like this, I didn't know if it was COVID that taught us or took us back with social skills and just communicating. And
I would argue, yeah.
But like the amount of athletes that, like, I don't complain about it. I love doing it and supporting them with, communicating and advocating for themselves. But the amount of grade 12s that are now in college university that has support with talking to their coach and like asking questions and advocating for themselves. Like, hey, Coach Dre, X, Y, and Z, how should I approach this? And I would have to like prompt them and like, okay, talk, like, this is what you probably should say. And like, what else do you wanted to express? So like just communicating, advocating for themselves and just understanding that's okay to like advocate and talk.
Yeah. I think there's nothing wrong. Like I said, they like truth. So it's like, if you ask the big boy question, be prepared for the big boy answer, which is fair. At least you'll know.
Yeah.
Versus like, you're kind of like wishy-washy, like, oh yeah, you're fine. Just, work on, just be better.
Just be blunt, be transparent. When you're not doing those things, the opportunity will go right past you.
Yeah.
Nothing was done.
Exactly. I think it's like worth asking the question. Like, you want feedback?
Yeah.
Go ask for feedback.
Yeah.
Professionally, ask for feedback. Pretend it's like, university coach or scout, like practice that skill. You know what I mean? Like
it's an important skill.
It's a very important skill. Yeah, I think they have to learn that at younger age. Like learn how to talk and advocate for yourself, right? Cue yourself professionally. Look at the tone and the message you're sending and all those kinds of things. I think that will, skyrocket a lot of.
You know what it could be too? I think they're probably also another, world. They're probably afraid of the answer they might get.
Of course.
They don't want that answer. They've been coddled for a long time. By
championship syndrome.
Right?
Everyone's so good.
Everyone's a winner.
Everyone's telling me how great I am.
Deep down, they know that answer is or could be, but I don't want to hear it. So I won't even address it.
Yeah. So it's like, well, we'll never know. It's like, well, no. We deep down, you knew.
Yeah.
Deep down, you knew. You were just afraid to ask.
Yeah.
But you knew what the answer was going to be. If you're that good, they would have let you know.
Yeah.
I think it's just goes, social media thing doesn't help with that. Like it's glorifying a lot of things. And, I love when people commit. I think it's great. Hey, you committed. But then also at the same time, like, okay, we got to take a step back now. It's like, that's you committing.
Yes.
But if you're committing, now you have a job.
Yeah.
There's a job. They have expectations. It's a contract. You are a business entity. They're paying your tuition or whatever, room and board, whatever the deal is. That means it's a trade-off for a skill set you have that's continuing to grow. It's going to compound over time. If they don't see that compound over time, you're the next man up.
Yeah.
So there has to be an understanding and you can handle that, which that goes back to the underbelly conversation of like, are you prepared for that next step where now the head coach of XYZ program is not giving up his job. He has a mortgage, he has a wife, he has kids he got to feed. He ain't giving that up if you're not doing your job.
Yeah. Yeah.
So he will send your ass back and he'd be like, all right, next man up.
Yeah. Next man.
You know what I mean? But I want to circle back to basketball because I want to get back on track with basketball here. So what are like some of the top 3 things you're looking for when you're developing your kids? Like what do you see some standout qualities of basketball players that are continually like kind of elevating their game?
So one is not even, it's a skill in general, just leadership.
Mm-hmm.
It's not necessarily leadership by example, just putting the work in, even on the days you don't want to put the work in, just giving your all each day. Also just talking and your ability to make others around you better.
Yeah.
Right? Are you able to be selfless? And like if you see a teammate that's not doing so well, can you have empathy and like take a step back from you for a second and actually help your teammate or your friend build himself back up or herself back up?
Yeah.
So it's a leadership part in that, just by example, also just by communicating the nonverbal skills and verbal skills. The second one is just, the competency part. Are they able to transfer or recognize what skills they're trying to transfer to the actual game? And can they take all these transferable skills that we teach them can they bring it home, and can they actually be intentional on applying?
Intentional.
Yes, I
There
got
we
it.
go. Intentional.
Can they be intentional about applying those skills outside of
Yeah.
our court? Can they go to the school and be intentional? You know?
New word of the day.
Yeah, new word. Apex. Intentional about using that skill set. Don't laugh at me.
Come on.
I'm a teacher.
I gotta laugh a little bit. I learned a new word the other day.
Yeah. Hey, if
Autumnal.
I'm a teacher, I can make my own
Yeah.
words. Okay, I earned the right.
That's right, kids. Read a book.
It's in Oxford now. But can they apply these skills in spaces independently?
Yeah.
And then the third one is just being resilient, being a goldfish. Like, mistakes are going to happen along the way. How can you handle feedback? How can you handle, quote unquote failures? How can you handle adversity? Are you going to, be kicked down and stay down, or can you build yourself back up without anyone having to have that pep talk with you?
Yeah.
So those three things.
Yeah.
Welcome to Iron Performance Center, Niagara's home for real personal and performance training. We're a community obsessed with building durable, explosive, game-ready humans. No gimmicks, no shortcuts, just training that works. From athletes chasing scholarships, to pros chasing championships, to regular people who just want to feel strong, move well, and stay built for real life. If you're willing to work, you're our people. Our system is simple: smart programming, elite coaching, and a culture that pushes you to levels you didn't know you had. With modern technology and principles-based programming, we track your progress, teach you movement skills, and give you every tool you need to perform when it matters most in whatever arena you call home. Iron Performance Center, because performance matters.
Yeah, that's fair. I think it was very transferable.
Yeah.
I think we see that too a lot with kids. Like, hey, how you do one thing parallels a lot. It's hard to be so driven in something like, hey, if you work hard in your schoolwork, you're, obviously you might not like it, but
Yeah.
you're dedicating yourself to a craft of, I have to learn this skill or math or science. I pretty much have that same mindset towards a lot of things. If I commit to basketball or I commit to a sport or music, whatever, I'm constantly trying to see how good I can be and develop in that realm. It's hard to just turn that on and off. I find it's a very transferable skill with just go-getters. You want to call them that, I guess. You know what I mean? Like, everyone's different, but I think those are paralleling skills for a lot of avenues, not just sports. I think it's character. And I think we've had conversations, even like the pros. I think we've had this conversation before, but one of our guys was getting drafted and they called us up, like the organization called us up. They didn't ask anybody about stats because they could find their stats anywhere.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They don't need you for their stats. The questions they asked were character driven.
Yep.
Does he show up on time?
Yep.
How is he in the room?
Yep.
Clean up after himself? How is he with
That's
other?
a big one. Yeah.
Massive. Crazy, but
Yeah.
he was like, how is he with other people in the room?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, how is he with, other athletes in the room?
Yeah.
Is he talkative? Is he positive?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? How's his family life?
His energy in general.
Pretty much. They want to know all the intangible stuff.
Yeah.
Which is like, hey, we knew we can get his numbers, but we want to know more about who he is.
Yeah.
And I've never had, scouts or organizations call me and ask about stats or.
That's a big one. I didn't say it, but that's a huge one.
Yeah.
Their character.
It's huge. They never ask even about the output stuff, like what's his jump height, what's his speed, what's his squat. They don't care.
They want to know
that.
them first.
They want to know who he is because they want to know if I assimilate this person in my organization, how are they going to be for our organization? Like, he could be the best athlete, but the worst teammate. He could be the guy that thinks he's all that. And maybe he does perform, but he's a nightmare to deal with.
I've had coaches judge me too about just their energy. Like, how is their energy? Do they add to a team or do they take away?
Yeah.
We all have those teammates that just take away, and you don't want to. You want to coach them.
Like a cancer.
You just leave them alone.
Yeah,
I can't have no energy for that, man.
You ever find that? Like, there's some people you're just like, man, I just don't want to be around you right now.
Yeah, like you're bringing my energy down.
Yeah, you're like, fuck, so and so is here. Like, God damn it. You're like, they couldn't call in sick today.
Yeah.
Like, someone says,
yeah, or even a colleague or a worker, like people you don't want to be around. You just know the energy in general. Like,
massive. It's
draining.
I think there's I don't know if this is. I think it's real. The law of attraction, which, if you ever kind of looked into that, pretty much said like positive attracts positive, negative attracts negative. I think the biggest difference they found was it's not that the opportunities are different for positive versus negative people, right? If you probably have those people in your life where like you always, they're always bubbly or like they're always energetic. Even if they're having the worst day, they're finding the positive in something. People tend to get gravitated towards those people and the negative people tend to just push them away.
Yeah.
I think the difference they found was opportunities were consistent across negative or positive people, but they found that positive people were able to recognize opportunities versus negative found them as obstacles or fears.
Yeah.
Like, oh, no, can't do that. Whereas positive people were like, well, this is a unique opportunity to X, Y, Z.
Yeah.
Versus the opposites. You're like, oh, well, it's true. Like literally just finding the win in the day can make a huge difference.
Small wins.
The small win. It doesn't have to be like monumental. You're setting a record. You just speed went up, cut, you hit this many free throws. It's literally just, hey, I showed up today when I had every ounce of my being say I didn't want to. I had no urge to do it, but I did it anyway. That's your win.
Yeah.
That's huge for your development. Like now you're learning how to overcome.
Yeah.
And we had a guest on the show. He was an Olympic champion bobsledder in 2010. So shout out Steve Mesler.
Yeah.
Fucking awesome dude for Team USA. First bobsled gold medal in years. And he actually broke it down quick. He's like, the more people overcome things like mentally, you actually rewire your brain. Like the myelin sheath actually gets thicker. So you're actually able to handle more stuff. Like you're not asking for easier problems. You're asking for broader shoulders, essentially. You learn to handle harder things and you realize that the more fires you put out is a privilege problem.
Yeah.
Right. Like you're asking for the burden to handle more because you can. So then you overcome. Like your myelin sheath gets thicker and thicker. So you're more resilient to obstacles. You become, it's almost like a skill. You're honing a skill of overcoming in some small fashion. And then when opportunities present themselves, good, bad, or ugly, you're able to recognize if it is an opportunity and then you can capitalize on said opportunity.
Yeah, I love that. Like the problems don't get easier, you just become more equipped to deal with it now.
You're not bubble wrapping, you're becoming resilient.
Yeah.
Which I think is huge. But again, this is funny too. Most athletes will love those words. Yeah. Discipline, overcoming, hard work.
Oh, they actually don't.
And then fucking shit will crumble.
Yeah.
Like that.
No, they forget all about it.
After 2 months,
Yeah.
it'll crumble. I remember we had teams and I'll always do the same thing in the fall because, fall is beautiful.
Yeah.
Seasons are starting. School's back up. There's this great energy. Rah, rah, rah. The weather's still nice. It's like this season, we're going to win nationals. And you're like, listen, guys, love the energy. Keep that energy. But all I care about is show me February. And that's like, it's still 2 months from playoffs, but show me February. Why? Because that's when the weather's going to be cold. It's going to be dark. It's going to be miserable. You have your semester's rolling up and you are like, after the holidays, everything is just, right? Yeah. So show me February. Like if we have the same conversation in February, we're on a good spot.
Yeah.
But usually after that, 2-3 months of fall and then holidays roll around and whoosh, everyone just pivots and then they start trying to find those loopholes in the expectation, right? Like, work hard, discipline, consistency, no, consequence. Yeah. And all of a sudden but for them, like, well, no, but I had this or I had that. So I couldn't, but it's because of this. You're just like, listen, standards are standards. I think, there's ideals and there's standards. People, I think a lot of coaches should hear this too, is standards are what you tolerate. Yeah. Right. Not what you idealize or wish. It's what you tolerate. So if you say, hey, we practice this, right? If you're late, this is the consequence. If you don't make this many practices, this is the consequence. You're benched for half a game. Whatever it is, you stand by your convictions at all costs, because the minute you go against your convictions, your standards drop. It's no longer tolerated, but you're allowing it to be tolerated. So your standards aren't what you say they are. That's what you idolize them as. And I think that's where, at the minute a coach kind of opens that floodgate, everything just whoosh, runs right through. You know what I mean? Like crazy how people just give them an inch, take a yard, another yard. And you're just like, well, and then you start to wonder why the culture went to shit.
That's the biggest part. Like, again, I learned a lot just even being part of the Brock program and Coach Willie and Coach William. Like, I learn every single day when I'm with those guys, and they are big and we are big on just the standard, keeping the standard. And something that Coach Willie always says is like, who are you on your worst day, right? Like the days, like, you're going through, exams and midterms and your bodies are tired. But again, everyone in these sports, they're going through the same thing.
Yeah, this is not unique.
Right? Like, who are you on, a Tuesday in November at this practice? Like, why can't we show up and give our all? And the standard can't just be something the coaches enforce. It has to be player-led as well. It has to be all of us as a unit. Holding ourselves accountable, but also each other accountable.
A line I'll use is I'll tell my kids, I'll be like, be selfish enough to find out what you're capable of, but selfless to empower your teammates to do the same. Right. I think going back to the standards part is like, that's a fundamental thing for coaches that need to hear. It's like, whatever your vision is for the team, make sure that you uphold the vision, your assistants or whoever else in your staff uphold the vision. And that way it trickles down, right? Top down leadership, it trickles down, and make sure that there is no tolerance for anything less than that. Whatever your standard is, make sure it's very transparent and stand by it. We see that a lot with organizations, especially the high school age club level. They'll have these expectations, or they'll say they have these expectations, and then they'll always tolerate excuses for whatever reason, valid or not. They tolerate them, and then they start to wonder why things are crumbling, or when push comes to shove, they're not able to dig deep in those moments that require to impact winning. You're like, well, you kind of set themselves up here. Like you set them up for the fact that they're going to fail.
Yeah.
Like their window of failure just grew because you let them get away with X, Y, and Z when you said you weren't. But now you can't fault them because you allowed it.
Yeah.
You know, there's a leadership thing. And you're right to talk about peer leadership. Because I remember I looked at a study the other day from winning teams, and the biggest thing that they all voted on that was fundamental for their success was peer leadership.
Yeah.
It wasn't the leadership from the coaches, the staff, or any of that stuff. It was peer-to-peer leadership, like believing in each other and relying on each other to help, you know, and lead each other in some regard to success. Right. And I think we've seen that too. Like I go back to my point about does he clean up after himself? My best teams I've seen, and this is a big shout out to one of our volleyball teams that are top 3 in the province. They come in together, they're on time, they're in their lines, ready to warm up. Whenever I give an instruction or my coach gives an instruction, they're like, yes, sir. Yeah. All together, right? Good day, bad days matter. Yes, sir. We get after it, you know, and then they will literally set, it's almost like a well-oiled machine. Like I actually don't have to say very much. It's kind of refreshing. I love it. And this is, I've kind of gauged this as a mark of like, if I can start, you know, the work today. Yeah. I don't have to say anything. I just have to observe, and I see the machine just well-oiled. Like they set their station. They set their, they break off in their groups. They set their stations up. They're, you know, the guys that's on rest. He's like counting for the other guys. Give him, like, hey, if you have a good set, our big thing is if you have a great set, pass that energy to the next guy. High five, fist bump, something. Yeah. Pass that energy.
Touching part of the
pass some energy. Sort of, right? So the guy that's like next up, like he's ready to go. You're counting for him, doing your sets, whatever like that. When they're done,
that builds chemistry. That builds
huge
culture.
It's an opportunity for more. It's not just the outputs. Like, hey, we have an opportunity to build something input wise as a team. Yeah. Like, hey, you're passing energy. Like every fist bump. Like get into groups that maybe guys you don't really communicate with that much. Work together, right? Like some shared struggle. Yeah. You know what I mean? Learn about each other. It's a great opportunity. You know what I mean? It's not just sets and reps. Like this is a great opportunity.
And the beautiful thing too, I'm sure that they're probably like that independently, but they're also like that outside of their sport.
They are.
And anything, and school or being a great brother or son, like they're just,
it's a huge underrated piece. It's a huge underrated piece. And the coach is like, they're so tight knit. It's like, I can see that. Yeah. These guys, like they always do everything together, even when they're like in their groups, right? They're together in their groups. So they come together as a whole. Yeah. They clean up after each other. Like when they're done, they literally roll the benches up, set the bars the right height. They put all their stuff away.
That's a winning team.
Yeah, that's a winning team. I mean, and then again, I always say too, like there's very few surprises in the sport. You're like, you look at that and you're like, I'm not surprised that they're doing well.
You see losing teams?
Oh,
you can tell they're
losing. Am I? Woo! Yo, let me tell you, shit. Dre, we don't have enough time for this shit, man. I'm telling you right now. Like, you know what I mean? Like I've had a team one time, and I always highlight their good teams. Like, hey, look. I'll always try to like break things up. Be like, hey, look around you for a second. See the person there. They're all in their individual journey, but you see how they're commingling. Like that person's a hockey player. That person's a rower. That person's an accountant. Yeah. That person's a home builder. Yeah. Look how they all just kind of work together. Yeah. Right. Like they have their own journeys, own things going on. But look how they just, in this moment, this hour, like this is them winning the moment. Everything else is out. Yeah. They're just doing this stuff together. Yeah. Like that's what we have to like learn to embrace. Those guys are like, just, you know, husbands and career men's and women's, and like, and they're choosing to do this. Like this is, they learn to love this. Like they're working harder than you guys. Yeah. You know what I mean? And they got nothing to gain from it, except their own health and well-being. But I remember having a team and all of a sudden like the attendance is low. Yeah. You know, you have a team of 10 or 12. You might have 3 show up since October. Yeah. You know, like everyone's like hot and, you know, hyped up in October. All of a sudden it drops off. Like I said, January, attendance is like 60% of what it was. Yeah. I'm like, woof. And you could always see the trend. I remember I'm like, I asked one girl, I was like, well, where's your teammates? Well, I don't think it works. I'm like, what works? Oh, training. I'm just like, well, you're here once a week and I haven't seen them since November and it's February. What doesn't work? They may put in 4 hours since October. It doesn't work. I'm just like, no, it's not, it doesn't work. They don't work. It's a difference. You know what I mean? You're not working in that respect. It's like, there has to be some ownership. Yeah. Like I said in the very beginning, like there's some ownership on their end. Like, hey, it's a two-way street here. Yeah. You know what I mean? If you're not doing the work, it's cliche, but
they're so quick to make excuses and then finger point and be like,
it's so
where's the accountability in yourself?
Yeah. Like look in the mirror, man.
That contract with yourself that you make.
Yeah. Like if I'm not saying you have to like the sport, like, but if you commit, and this is what we talked about with our teams too, and the organizations and the coach and everything else, like, hey, at the start of the season, make it very clear, like this is our standard. This is what is tolerated and what's not tolerated. If you sign to this team, you agree to uphold the standard. Anything less than that, This is the consequence. We cut you, you're benched, whatever. And then you can't go back and be like, well, it's because it didn't work. It's like, well, no, you just didn't uphold your end of the bargain.
Yep.
Right? You have to like the sport, but you can say, you know what, at the end of the season, this isn't for me. That's fine.
Yeah.
No problem. But you're going to see, you can make a commitment, learn to follow through on your commitment.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if nothing else, you'll learn that later on in life. You commit to school, 4 years. You got it. It's going to take 4 years to get the work done. Right. So
that brings me back to the parents part, even with AAU, like, oh, you don't like it. You don't want your coach not getting minutes. They're the first ones to say, all right, next program.
It's always someone else.
Next team.
But then they go find someone else. Tell them what they want to hear.
Yeah, until it changes. And
it's
then
the same problems with a different logo.
Yeah.
It's just so frustrating.
It's maddening to me sometimes.
Oh, it boils our blood. It boils my blood because you could see it and you're just like, you're going down. It's like deja vu. I've seen this before.
Yeah, I've seen this story before.
I've seen this story. I know how it ends.
Season 2, episode 5.
Yeah. Yeah. You're like, fuck, this is season 7 now. Like, here we go. Season 7, or we're going back to the pilot. Oh, okay. Yeah. Season 7. You're Breaking Bad all over again, man. Like I tell you, it's extremely frustrating. Extremely frustrating. I think they have to understand like this, it's a commitment. It doesn't matter if it's sport or not. It's like, it's just a commitment.
Yeah.
If you agree to something, if you're going to sign your name to a team, then you have to uphold your end of the bargain. You know, don't be pointing fingers at him or her, blame someone else where you didn't get to. It's been pretty, I would hope, clearly laid out what's expected of you and what that can lead to. I think the other part of that's going to be like, you can't have high performance aspirations and make recreational decisions.
Yeah, but it's a commitment to themselves too, not even to the other person. It's to yourself. Whenever you write that thing on the dotted line, it's to yourself that I'm going to uphold this and I'm going to be accountable to myself. But somewhere down the line has changed to now and things go wrong. All right, well, I'll just erase this pencil signature.
Where'd that come from?
And then next thing.
I'm trying to figure out where that came from. Like, I don't know if it's always been that way, but I don't know where that mindset comes from. I'm not too sure. And the worst part is I can't relate to it.
Yeah.
I'm not good at empathizing with that because I have no, it's almost like speaking another language. I'm just
I did grade. I don't know why. Oh, I know I did it.
This sounds good.
But I did grade 10 Spanish.
Oh, muy bien.
Yeah, right. Está any good. No muy good. No muy bien. But like, it was night school. And I had to take the TTC there every single Tuesday and Thursday. And I absolutely hated it, but I knew I had to do it. But I wanted to quit so bad.
Yeah.
But my mom did not let me quit. I made a contract and I told her, I told myself that I'm doing this every single time. Because I also know my why for SAT is to be in the States. I then took it in university as well. I followed through. Didn't get a great grade, but I followed through. I was practicing every single day. Watching Spanish soap operas and everything, trying to get better.
I start with Dora the Explorer subtitles. That's what I try to do.
But my God, but like, again, I took it personal to myself. I could not quit this. So just, being consistent even on those days.
There's something to be learned from that. And the worst part is like, you'll probably reflect back like we are now back then. You're like, oh, that was good. I did that. Yeah. It's like, kids, listen, you'll look back 5 years, 10 years and you're like, oh, okay, I'm glad I did that.
Yeah.
You know
Accountability, resilient.
I think it really can be that simple. It's like, hey, if you make a commitment to something, just stick to it.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, as much as you hate it, like you could reevaluate when it's done.
Yeah.
Reevaluate when it's done. But I think there's some valuable lessons and insights to be taken from that, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's probably how you also coach your athletes.
Yeah. This is the standard I have. This is why, like, anyone that's successful or great, whether it's sports or any industry, like if they are successful, there's a level of accountability they have for themselves.
Yeah.
And then they also echo that to their support staff or their team, right? Like, you look at, to hear about Kobe Bryant stories, like he was an asshole. Yeah. Because he held people to a high standard. MJ, same thing. Like, anyone that's great, they hold that standard for themselves, but they also show it to everyone else.
Yeah, I got you.
So yeah, I'm very hard on myself.
Yeah, well, that's good. I mean, I think we should, as coaches, take this personally.
Yeah,
right. I think it's a sign of respect. If I'm, going to invest my energy in somebody, like they know, like, hey, like he's letting me know because he cares.
Yeah,
right. I remember like having coaches that the fear was like if they didn't even speak to you, like, oh. That's when you have to worry. If they're yelling at you, good sign. If they're yelling at you, means like they're caring enough to actually, yell at my ass or whatever I gotta do. Means they care. They're investing some energy in their emotions and probably their stress. Just yelling at you. The worst fear is when you look at somebody else and coach wasn't even talking. You're like, uh-oh.
Yeah.
That person's on the chopping block.
Yeah.
That person has no attention whatsoever. That guy, he's next out.
Yeah. It's the why too. Like, why are they hard? Because there's no other answer other than to win. Like, winning is the only thing. And if you don't help me win, then you're also helping me lose. I don't want to lose. You can't be on my team.
Yeah, it's
We're
not
trying
personal.
to win this game.
Yeah, it's not personal. It's like there's a job to do.
Yeah.
And we're not getting it done. And if you're part of that reason why,
yeah,
we got to find someone that
There's
can.
no excuse. There is no excuse.
I completely wholeheartedly agree. I think that's go back to tough coaching.
Yeah.
I think it's not personal. I think it's just it's a business. It's wins and losses business. Like we have to get some numbers on the board that reflect success, move up in ranks.
I'm gonna give Willie his shout outs again. I'm all about Coach Willie. Like he's up till like 1 a.m., doing film and sending out stuff and reports and different scouting. Like he's a madman.
Yeah.
I love it because I'm also a madman myself in my own thing. But like he holds himself to a standard because he actually cares about it and he holds himself accountable. So then therefore he's able to cuss me out. Like, Dre, be better at this.
Yeah.
I can't be soft about it or sad about it because I know what he's doing behind closed doors.
Yeah. Coach would never ask me to do something he himself hasn't done
so
before.
I have to compete with that.
Yeah.
Right?
I think that's respectable. I think honestly more coaches should be doing that. Like take it personally. Like if you're going to invest that much time and energy, I think that leads that chip on the shoulder. Like, no, I have the right. I don't have to explain myself to anyone because I know that I'm doing everything I can to make this team, my athletes better.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I'm not going to apologize for that. You know what I mean? I'm not going to sacrifice, the values that we have for that. You know what I mean?
But
Like
people are sensitive. They don't want that.
Oh,
they hear, he's mad at me. Oh, he's mean.
God. Message, not tone, kids.
Yeah.
Message, not tone. Just like listen, whatever the tone is, there's a message in there.
They want the shoulder up. Hey, buddy. No. No.
I don't know how that works. You know what I mean? Like I can never because then think of all the time you're wasting just dancing around the issue.
Yeah. We're not coaching anymore. We're now managing
we're
behaviors.
We're managing emotions.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, well, I'm not going to spend 10, 20 minutes trying to dance around the issue when I could just get to the root of it in 5 seconds. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like this was not acceptable.
And even then, that's still not enough.
It's still not good enough. Like I think it's a mental fragility thing.
Yeah.
I don't think it's people talk about mental health and everything else, which there's some, good facts for this. But I think it's like I think we're kind of leaning one side where it's like we're confusing mental health and well-being with a strategy that's it's mentally tough because I'm not, I don't have to listen to this. I don't have to talk. I can talk about these things. Well, there's being mentally tough in that respect, but also I think more of that's an avoidance strategy.
Yeah.
You're avoiding something. You're essentially reframing your life and your feedback style to avoid tough conversations. Mm-hmm. It's not personal. Like this is just, there's a conversation that has to be had to improve and grow. But instead of like navigating through it, you're avoiding it.
Yeah.
It's an avoidance strategy, which is not mentally tough in my mind. It's like, you're just really good at avoiding conflict.
No, I agree. I think people should be able to go through some tough times and then be okay with being in that tough time. Like not everything has to be, the end of the world. Just being okay with that. I'm going through it right now. I'm confident that I'll bounce back from that, but I'm okay with this part of my journey right now.
Yeah, I think that's where the lines will get blurred, where they start to say, well, I'm not, doing this because, for my mental well-being. It's like, well, I think you're just avoiding what needs to be done. You're avoiding the issue. Navigate, like, how about we learn to navigate through, like, hey, let's prepare. Here's the conversation's going to be had. You can handle this, but you have to go through it. Like you're going to have to navigate it. You know what I mean? Ride the wave a little bit, not just avoid the tough calls.
That's the thing. The 90s babies, 80s babies, like there are a lot of, I sound like an old man ranting. Back in my day,
we didn't have social media.
Right?
We just texted what do you call it? T9, 1, 2, 3, something else.
Even like in the school where like, I remember just doing English. You had a rough copy. And then you would do your rough copy, making all your mistakes. You would have your friends peer review it like 3 different times. There'd be like a bunch of different markings and corrections. Then you write it again, then have your teacher, edit it. And then finally when like it was like polished, the golden white paper, then you do your final draft.
Yeah.
But like there's a whole process in making those mistakes and looking at it, identifying some mistake. Okay, I learned from my mistake. But now in class, even that's not even happening. It's just, crazy. Computers talk and type into it, or just ChatGPT, Gemini. It's just
fuck. Do you find a lot of kids are using ChatGPT to write their shit? Fuck.
Yeah. Fuck. Well, it's even on Google Docs now. You have Gemini on it. You can actually just ask Gemini a few questions, and it will prompt you a whole thing.
Oh my God.
Right. So I can only imagine the long-term effects of like relying on technology.
Yeah. When's the last time a kid wrote like a paper? Like had to like compartmentalize thought to speak in the wrong words.
We're dumbifying ourselves, and then Instagram, the doom scrolling,
I was crazy. I was having this conversation the other day with, I can't remember who. We were talking about, and I believe that communication's a prime indicator of intelligence, like your ability to articulate, communicate, process, and implement. You know what I mean? I think it's crucial. Like you could have the cure to cancer, but if you write like a 10-year-old, no one's gonna listen. No one's gonna listen to you. They'll be like, "Fuck is this? I don't know what this is. There's something good in there. I don't know. I can't. I have no idea what the hell this motherfucker's saying." You know what I mean? So I'm like, I think that's gonna be a lost art, just reading and processing and writing and having some critical thinking, because I think that's a lost art now.
Problem solving, even for your own self.
Oh my god, yeah. It's like, oh, mom and dad won't tell me the answer. ChatGPT will tell me the answer, and then they just take it at face value. There's no like, I wonder if, what if this is wrong?
Yep.
What if this is not what I think it is? Like that, I don't even think people stop to ask the question. Like they'll type something in and it'll be catered to what they want to hear or how they think. That's it. That's the answer. Like, okay, well, what if it's not?
Yeah.
Be devil's advocate.
It's always funny when I talk to kids these days and I tell them about like what life was like for me as a youth.
Yeah.
Like we had one family computer in the study room and that was the only computer we had, map questing.
Yep.
We even print the since going back home. We just reversed it.
Yeah. All right. We got to start here. We're going like, I got you. I remember that.
Right. Just what that looked like. Not having, this handheld computer in your hand all the time.
Yeah.
Even myself, I try to have limits on how often this thing's in my hand.
Yeah.
Because even that's like making me like, almost fatigued mentally.
It's a huge factor. Yeah. Like
right.
it's that 15-second dopamine hit.
Yeah.
Right. Inside gratification. I feel good. Also, next thing. I think our last guest we had on, she said she can't. Well, the worst thing is we had a kid the other day. He was like, I watch everything on 1.5 speed. I was like, what? What?
But I understand. I can't watch a show anymore. I get bored so easily.
Holy
I'm like, okay, I'm gonna put on a rerun of Breaking Bad and just watch that and have background noises on my
that's
email.
That's crazy to me. Like I'm like, it's never It's never good enough. It's never fast enough.
It's quick. I spend like an hour and a half sometimes, and I don't want to admit that, but like sometimes on a Sunday when I'm free and I'm done doing all my stuff, I'm actually never done, but like, I might be distracted. I might start scrolling. Next thing you know, half hour goes by.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh man.
You're like, oh shit.
Put this phone away.
Yeah. You're like, it's like, I got time. I got 8 hours. All of a sudden it's like 8 p.m. You're like, whoa, where'd that go? Like, it's like, what did I watch? You don't even know. I don't know what the hell I was watching for the last hour, 2 hours. I was like, I don't fucking know what the hell happened. But yeah, I don't know. I think it's a big, again, that's a whole, I don't know who's solving that problem.
Yeah. So our youth brains, we got to take care of those youth brains, man.
I don't know, but I'll kind of like wrap some things up with this, but like, what do you think is like missing in basketball right now in Niagara? If you had to kind of like put your finger on it, what do you think is lacking in the Niagara region? And how do we solve that? I guess that'd be the follow-up.
What's missing? I'm not too sure. I think in the last couple of years, like we're actually getting to a better place. A lot of individuals now are doing some amazing things. Like I'm gonna put some programs on. Like I think what VBL is doing with having just a recreational league for youth, I think that was a missing part because some kids that are in travel should not be in travel at that age, and they should just be playing basketball freely without having any adult coaches around and just playing basketball, just hooping, and it's enjoying that for what it is, like a safe space for them to play basketball. And then Pelham and us and other programs are doing house leagues to get their skill development up, and their house leagues or whatever. And then with what Kissy's doing with Sirius and in Niagara Prep, like I think we're actually getting to a place. There's so many different programs and niches around. If anything, I would hope for the region to be more connected, and that's for us to work together more and kind of communicate philosophies and kind of be one, like Avengers team, and kind of helping everyone together rather than them doing and us doing all our separate things.
Do you find there's like a lot of ego involved?
Could be ego, could be some, I don't even know. It could be.
Yeah. I'm always curious too, because like I think there's a lot of great people doing good things individually. It's like, well, like would you ever work with Pelham, for example, like collaborate with them?
I think we want to do well. It's just no one is kind of spearheading that first step in communicating. Because I think we're all humble people independently, but we're all thinking that maybe they won't be receptive to.
That's fair.
That.
Yeah, it's always tough. Like first move to the wall is bloodiest. Like it is tough to kind of, all right, how we just put the walls down a little bit and see what we can do together. Maybe there's some room for growth. And like honestly, I think it'd be a great opportunity for a lot of athletes too, right? You have like a central hub for basketball to grow in the region.
Because there are a lot of great hoopers in this region, a lot of great athletes coming up the pipeline too. And we don't want them to feel like Niagara is not a space where they can actually like be seen and get that exposure. Because
I think the more athletes we can keep in Niagara instead of like traveling to Toronto or the GTA to get their fix for like better basketball. It's like, well,
we have it right here.
We have it right here. Like, can we like unite in that way and just be like, hey, like this is a place where you can get opportunity.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the coaching staff is fundamental. Like it's, you know, we got great coaches, great spaces for you to do the work you have to do. It can be done here at home.
There are a lot of great coaches here.
Yeah, I think so. I think they're, you know, from what I've seen, it's getting better, which is phenomenal. That's always my biggest beef is like, hey, ton of great athletes. So why are they leaving Niagara to become the athlete they think they can be? When I think they have the opportunity right here in home to develop, right?
Yep.
So
I agree.
I think that's a, you know, a topic for higher powers, maybe.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I don't know what the answer to that would be, but you know, shout out to all the coaches out there that are crushing it.
Yeah.
And hopefully we can collaborate with that. But yeah, I had a ton of fun with this. But where can people learn more about you? I guess I'll kind of finish this too. What is the next step for Apex basketball? What is next?
It's always funny when people ask that question to me. Like my whole goal is just getting 1% better myself, you know, being better at communicating goals, being better at, you know, supporting youth and our pro athletes and our youth sport athletes, just getting better for myself.
Yeah.
So that way I can also help our support coaches get better themselves. As far as like goals, I never saw myself being a youth sports assistant coach or play development coach or any of these things are happening. I just try to get better daily. But I would definitely love to have our own facility, you know, where we can call home. That's been a thing in the works. We'll see.
Yeah.
But yeah, just getting better. Just getting that's the only goal I have. Just getting better daily.
Gotcha. All right, that's awesome. And where can people find you and learn more about you and Apex and what you guys do?
NiagaraApex.com or .ca, sorry. All of our spring programs are up right now as we speak. Still a few more spots left. And then our summer programs will be posted in the next couple of weeks.
Phenomenal.
And they sell out pretty quick. So
good. That's good. I'm glad. Hey, you guys heard it here first, man. Make sure you guys check out Coach Dre and Niagara Apex. Obviously, big thank you for coming on. I love talking about it, man. Like this is fun.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Casual, keep it fun.
No.
You know what I mean? But yeah, so guys, Performance Matters Podcast. We're on Spotify, we're on Apple, we're on YouTube. Make sure you like, subscribe, share with your friends. And like I said earlier, there's two types of people. You know, like when the world's ending, do you want to make sure you're part of that cool community of just subscribers on Spotify and on Apple? Because we love having awesome guests like Coach Dre coming in and chopping it up on the PMP. You know what I mean? So make sure you guys do that. And of course, you know, you can find us on Instagram as well. So give us a follow on that because we always put the clips on there. We love having these conversations being posted. So you guys know where to find us on your favorite streaming platform. And until next time, guys, take care.
Awesome.